All right, welcome everybody. A little late, was getting things set up here, but I'm here. Just took a minute to figure out what I was doing. Oh, busy day. Dog got a haircut today, so now we're twins. Let me adjust my lighting, maybe a little, maybe not. Let me see. Hello, lighting. Where are you hiding on me? Oy. My light broke. I think I told you guys. So the stand doesn't work anymore. So I'm now having to. Well, that's not actually. It's pretty bright anyway, isn't it? Yeah. All right. Maybe we don't. Maybe we don't care. Do we care? No. Okay, that lighting's okay anyway. Anyway, hey, YouTubers, let me get TikTok rolling. Boom. And we'll see if my mic is actually working. Oh, hello. Pick up my mic for TikTok. YouTubers, I've got you guys on my iPhone mic, which should work pretty well on its own. There we go. All right. All right, let's see. Oh, it's going to mess with me again. Don't mess with the cache again. All right, let's see. All right. TikTok is not going, it's claiming it's going live, but it's not. I can tell it's just sitting there. One person. There we go. Hey, Danny Dan. At least somebody's here. I was a little afraid TikTok was having a glitch there. Anyway, hey, YouTubers. Hey, TikTokers. How are we all doing today? I got my news in hand. Hey, cool. Big Hawk. John, thank you for the first gift there. Cool as well. Oh, so anyway, welcome everybody. Today's Thursday. Woo. Things are okay. Got the dog a haircut today, so we're twins now. She got her ears lowered. If that works on a dog, I'm not sure. But yes, so pretty good. Oh boy. Just busy throwing stuff out at mom's. Well, not throwing stuff, throwing some stuff out. Thank you, Martin. It's hard when you're trying to clear out your parents' house. It's like, what do you keep? What don't you keep? Oh, very difficult. Thank you, Swan. Hopefully tonight I'll find a few things I want to auction off for you guys. So my nephew's coming over. We're going to look through some stuff. Thank you, Jen. Happy haircut. Thank you, Doc. I like my hair. My brother-in-law was making fun of my haircut. He goes, who did it? Like, my guy in DC. Really? You want him to do that? I'm like, yes, I wanted him to do that. Although that looks good too. Who was that? Jen. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Catherine. I was a little shocked at first with the haircut. Now I'm liking it. I got used to it. It took me a while. I literally looked in the mirror twice when I was home in DC where it got cut. Twice I looked in the mirror and jumped. I literally jumped because I was like at my kitchen sink or my bedroom sink doing something. And I looked up and I jumped because there was some guy in my mirror. I like it. I really do like it. It always freaks me out when it's this short. But thank you, NJ Patman. It freaks me out when it's this short, and then I get used to it, and then I really like it. So I know it's weird, it's weird, but I'm used to it now. Now I'm liking it. Like I said, my Anderson Cooper cut. How is Harris doing the polls right now? Pretty much still tied. I didn't actually look for today because the polls keep not changing. She is pretty tied with Trump. She's pretty tied with Trump, basically. In the key states, they're pretty much tied. Nationally, they're pretty much tied. What really matters for U.S. elections, though, is looking at the key states, not the national. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Jay Shea. Thank you, World. She and Trump are tied in the main states. It's, there's only a month left. The other problem is early voting has already started. In the U.S., you start voting already. So that if it's a tie, those people already voted, right? So it's getting a little late here. I worry because we saw with the polls before. Thank you, World as my oyster, if I didn't thank you for the gift. We saw with the polls before with Trump in previous elections that he tends to do better than the polls. And that usually happens with candidates that are kind of racists or something like that, where the public basically is ashamed to admit they'll vote for him. And they basically, in other words, they're afraid to tell a pollster, oh yeah, I'm supporting him because they know he's a racist. And they're like in North Carolina, this would happen with Jesse Helms a lot, who was the U.S. senator from there, who was a huge racist, a homophobe, or just a horrible bigot, this guy. Thank you, Running. And they wouldn't tell the voters, the pollsters, that they were voting for him because they were afraid to look bad. So then in the election, the person would always do so much better. The racist would do great. And people would go, but the polls didn't show it. Well, the polls didn't show it because people didn't want to admit they were supporting a horrible human being. So that's what worries me with Trump. It's tied, and I'm a little like, I don't know, old man hair, or it's hot young Marine hair. Andre, thank you. Andre says I have old man hair. I think that's what he means. Anyway, all right, guys, let's get rolling. Somebody threw a question on the screen, so I thought I would get rolling on that. Thank you, Ava. So yeah, I am John Aravosis. Welcome, everybody. Anybody who's new here, We talk about the latest news from the U.S. election. We also talk about Ukraine, because that's kind of how I started this 2.5 years ago, talking about the war in Ukraine. So second half of the show, we'll be talking about Ukraine. First half, we'll be talking about the election. Thank you, Kronos. Please keep the gifts coming. As you guys know, I do this full time. I do it for free. Your gifts help pay the bills. As a thank you for the monthly subscribers, so that would be subscribers on TikTok, the paid subscribers, and the paid members on YouTube. I believe they're called members. I will have a show Saturday morning, as usual, just for the paid monthly guys and gals. Thank you, Jay Shea, as a thank you. Thank you, Iggy. We've got the carpet people coming, so there may be a bit of chaos, but I will still am intending to do the show. I will have Sasha on a leash so she doesn't run out the door. So there we go. All right, let's get rolling. So the elections. So Trump, we found out today, big surprise. Nobody should be surprised about this, but 2 former Trump White House officials came out and went public and said that Trump refused to give disaster aid to California back in 2018 when California was hit by these horrible wildfires. Now, every year California gets horrible wildfires. 2018 was a particularly bad year, right? The state was on fire. It was burning. Thank you, Camacho. That was very cool, the blooming ribbons. I've not seen that before. Thank you. Horrific fires in California. Trump initially refused to provide any federal disaster relief to California because they voted for Hillary Clinton in the 2016 election. They didn't vote for him. So he was going to let California burn. The White House staff, mind you, this is his own senior White House staffers, 2 of them that confirmed Trump did this. The only way they could get Trump to help America's largest state, California has, I'm guessing here, 20% of the U.S. population. I always forget. 15%? What is it, you Californians know this data. What is it? What's the actual population of California? I could ask Alexa. Alexa, what's the population of California?
According to the 2020 U.S. Census, the population of California is 39.5 million people. 40.
It's saying 40 million, just Nick, still. Okay, Alexa, stop. So 40 million people. We have a country of 330 million people. So that's like 12, 13%. It's the largest state. Huge population. Trump refused to help them because they voted for his political opponent, guys. The White House staff basically convinced Trump to help California that was in the middle of a horrific wildfire. He wasn't going to help them. They convinced Trump to help them by showing him data. Thank you, Bjorn. Thank you, user 992. By showing Trump data that one of the largest counties in California can be very Republican, Orange County, voted for Trump. And there were more Republicans in Orange County who voted for him than all the voters in the state of Iowa. Iowa is another American state that's very Republican. Okay. That's how they got Trump to support California in the wildfire, in a natural national disaster. Trump refused to get involved and help Americans who were dying and burning and losing their homes in wildfires because they voted for Hillary Clinton. And his staff had to basically trick him into supporting California by going, no, there's lots of people who voted for you. Look, here's Orange County. Look how many Republicans there are. See? And Trump said, well, okay, I guess if there's Republicans in Orange County, I'll help California. Guys, he's a pig. I mean, this is horrific behavior. Now, what's relevant about this is that Trump has been lying all week. And by the way, even Republicans have admitted Trump has been lying all week. I mean, Trump lies every day. He's a pathological liar. But he's been lying this week about the hurricane we just had in the southeastern U.S., horrible hurricane. I mean, really bad hurricane, very bad. Helene, I believe it was one of the top 3 we've had in terms of damage or in terms of strength, but like one of the worst hurricanes in American history. And Trump, just as Trump does, I've got lots of stories today about Trump lying. We're going to talk about this a lot today because people need to know he's a pathological liar. No one in American history lies like Donald Trump. No, I've worked in politics for 40 years. No one in politics lies like Donald Trump. This is not normal behavior. This is not what politicians do. Okay. So Trump has claimed this week, oh, Joe Biden isn't helping. Thank you, Jean-Marquis, for subscribing. Joe Biden isn't helping the states in trouble. Yeah, he is. Joe Biden won't even talk to the Republican governors of the states that are in trouble because they're Republican states, and Biden won't help them because they're Republicans. Will not talk to the governors. He said, he specifically said, the governor of South Carolina, Biden will not talk to. The governor of South Carolina gets interviewed and goes, oh yeah, I just talked to Joe Biden. He offered me everything I wanted. I even told him he was giving me too much. He said, Biden offered me a bunch of stuff. And I said, no, we've got enough. Then the governor of Georgia, Republican, comes out and says, oh yeah, I talked to Biden. He offered me everything. Then the governor of Virginia, Republican, comes out and says, oh yeah, I talked to Biden. He gave me everything. Donald Trump lied. Guys, he does this about everything. And it is so disgusting to me because, as I said, I've worked in Washington for 40 years now. And people like to think, oh, politicians are so evil. Politicians are so corrupt. They all lie. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Wei Ray. They really don't. Oh, and thank you, Dark, for sending the sub. Thank you, Anne, for the gift. They really don't. Actually, I have found politicians don't really lie. Some of them are smarmy. I mean, J.D. Vance is a little smarmy. He's a little kind of greasy, right? But most of them are not pathological liars. The degree to which Donald Trump lies, I have never seen in a Republican in my entire life, and certainly not a Republican president. Republican presidents don't do this. George Bush did not do this. Ronald Reagan did not do this. This is unique and it's disgusting and despicable. But we're going to talk about more of Donald Trump's lies in a second. Thank you, Doughboy. Melania. So Melania, Donald Trump's wife, came out today very oddly as pro-choice, as in favor of women's right to have an abortion. Trump, you will recall, is single-handedly responsible for killing a woman's right to have an abortion in America. In America, up until Trump became president, for 50 years, women were constitutionally protected in their right to have an abortion. It was a constitutional right for women to, and basically it was the right to privacy, the right to control their own bodies. Trump came to office, as Republicans always did, but Trump pulled it off, said, we are going to kill Roe, or the case was called Roe v. Wade. This was a famous Supreme Court case from 1973 that gave women the constitutionally protected right to an abortion. Trump came and said, I'm going to get rid of Roe v. Wade. I'm going to take that right away from women. He appointed 3 conservative Supreme Court justices, 3 far-right Republicans, who all had previously said they were going to get rid of Roe v. Wade, basically, and they did. They got rid of it. Because of Donald Trump, the Supreme Court got rid of Roe v. Wade. It killed it. It repealed a 50-year Supreme Court case, giving women this protected right to an abortion. Donald Trump killed it. Okay? Trump now is doing 2 things. One, whenever he talks to Republicans, he brags about it. He literally says, I'm responsible for taking away the right to an abortion to women across America. He says this. But then when they debate publicly, they don't want to talk about it. They pretend, oh, no, we don't want to ban abortions. They just did. They took away the constitutionally protected right. 20 American states now ban abortions to some degree. The state of Georgia, Republican states, of course, state of Georgia bans them after 6 weeks, when most women have no clue they're even pregnant at that point. So basically, they're banning all abortions entirely. Thank you, Jeremy. And Donald Trump did it. So his wife now comes out today and says she's pro-choice, meaning pro-abortion or pro a woman's right to an abortion. Melania has a book coming out. She's trying to get, profits or people to buy her book. It's very strange. It's not clear to me if she's doing this to hurt Trump. I suspect she's doing this to sell books. And she's doing it because I'll bet you Trump is doing it to let's put Melania out there. Women will see her and go, oh, see, Melania says she's pro-choice. Melania says she believes in a woman's right to an abortion if she wants one. That means Trump can't be so bad if his wife is okay. That's why he's doing it. And she's doing it to sell books. I think it's completely crass and political and monetary in terms of why she's doing it and why Trump is letting her do it. Thank you, Macabre. Kamala Harris campaigned today in Wisconsin with Liz Cheney and 3 other top Trump White House officials. Liz Cheney, for those of you who don't know, is one of, if not the most conservative member of Congress who then didn't run again 2 or 4 years ago, I think 2 years ago, because she took on Donald Trump. And she held Donald Trump accountable for his crimes. She held Donald Trump accountable for attacking and trying to violently overthrow our government on January 6, 2021. And Trump decided to destroy her, and he did. And the Republicans, because the Republican Party is pretty much a cult now, a Trump-led cult, they turned on her and said she wasn't Republican enough. Guys, Liz Cheney is, we say in English, to the right of Attila the Hun. It's an expression meaning you don't get more conservative than Liz Cheney. She's the daughter of Dick Cheney, who was our vice president and our defense secretary under Bush and with Bush. He was a defense secretary under the first George Bush president, and he was the vice president of the second George Bush president. Dick Cheney's entire family doesn't get more conservative. In any case, she is now going public and supporting Kamala Harris. She's campaigning with Kamala Harris because Trump is such a threat to our democracy. And she, like many people, like me as well, say that our country comes first. It doesn't matter what your politics are. It doesn't matter what party you belong to. America comes first, not the individual. And if somebody like Trump is trying to destroy our country, trying to violently overthrow our government, commit so many felonies, commit so many crimes, saddle up to America's enemies like Russia, hates the troops, like he said repeatedly, he hates America's troops. He's called them suckers and losers, our killed in action and our prisoners of war, that she stood up to him. And she said, I'm campaigning. So 3 top Trump White House officials are also campaigning with Liz Cheney today, Republicans, of course, and Kamala Harris in Wisconsin, a very important state. Trump again today, speaking of Trump's lies, Trump again today lied and said he won the election in 2020. Now, most of you are going to say, well, I don't care. That doesn't, I mean, he does that all the time, right? Oh, no. Trump has now flip-flopped 3 or 4 times in the last month. He can't decide whether he won the election or not. Guys, there's something wrong with him. There have been videos of him. I mean, he's always been weird. His speech has been very slurred for several years. It's getting worse now. He's done several appearances where he actually has been tired. Like he was the other day reading something like this at a campaign event and saying, oh, we welcome so-and-so here. And his head's kind of tilting sideways. He was like, well, we're kind of welcoming somebody. I mean, it looked like he had a stroke. It was bizarre. It was bizarre. Okay. Well, Trump a month ago admitted he lost the election. 5 days later, he then said, I was joking. I won the election. Last week, he turned around and said, I lost the election. Today, he turned around and said, I won the election. Guys, 4 times he's flip-flopped here in the last month. There's something wrong with this guy. I mean, this isn't just a matter of Trump lying about the election, because by lying about the election, he's continuing the violence. The reason we had violence last time was because Trump lied about winning the election. He didn't win. He lost. Everybody knows he lost. All the experts said he lost. The 62 court cases he filed said he lost, right? Donald Trump did not win the election. Thank you, Maddie. But Trump himself admitted twice now in the last month he didn't win the election. And then the next day turned around and said, I did win the election. Thank you, Monica. Now, thank you, running as well. There may be something wrong with him. I mean, I think he may have some physical problem. He may not know what's going on anymore. I mean, psychologically, I think there may be something wrong with him. He is now refusing to do an interview with 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes is a very big, serious, independent American news show, very famous, going back 50 plus years. And it is traditional for them to sit down and do this, huge, like hour-long interview with each presidential candidate. Trump initially said he would do it. Now he's not going to. And you put that in. Remember a month ago, or a month and a half ago, when Trump was canceling? Actually, it was August. It was August. Trump was canceling all of his campaign appointments. Remember, he said for the next month he was going to have no events, and we all went, "What's going on? Like, what happened to him?" You don't just cancel in America 3 months before the election. You don't cancel all your events. That's considered no time at all. Thank you, user. There's something wrong with him. But especially, again, the fact that Trump keeps, and I just kind of, it blows my mind. My nose is itching, by the way, because the dog got her haircut today. And because of the fur, I think it's making me like, I'll survive. I took an allergy pill. But it kind of blows my mind that he's such a pathological liar that he can't even keep track of his lies. That a month ago, he claimed he won the election. Then a couple days later, September 4th, he said, I lost the election by a whisker. Then September 9th, he said 5 days later, oh, I was just joking. I won the election. Then last week, Wednesday, September 25th, Trump said, I lost the election by a whisker. Again, he used the same phrase, a whisker. Then today, Trump said, no, I didn't. I won the election. That is somebody who is either such a liar and thinks that there's something wrong with you people, right? That thinks if you're a Republican, he thinks you're so stupid that you're not going to notice that he's just flip-flopped 4 times on you. Or he knows he's got a cult, and he knows he's got followers who don't care about the truth, and they don't care about values, and they don't care about, morals and ethics, right? I don't know. But I also think there's something wrong with him. I think there's absolutely something wrong with him. A little bit more now. National Public Radio. A majority of Americans worry. This is wild too, because Trump has been lying about the election. One of the things Republicans have done, especially with Trump since he came to office, has been lying about election fraud. There is no significant election fraud in America. There isn't. Thank you, Diana. It's been proven time and again. Thank you, adventurers. Thank you, Monica. Oh, it's not going to let me scroll down again. TikTok is having that little cache problem again. Sorry, guys. I was going to scroll to see which other gifts I had there, make sure I didn't lose any. Trump has been lying for years now, claiming America has these ongoing election problems. We don't. Thank you, Mikey. Again, you can Google it. You will find, for example, in the last election, all the studies, all the analyses, all the investigations, all the courts that looked at it found no significant election fraud at all. What they did find last time in 2020 was there were a number of cases of Republicans committing election fraud. But again, it wasn't significant enough to make a difference. But Trump keeps saying it. Republicans keep backing him up. And you've now got 6 in 10 Americans say they are concerned or very concerned about election fraud in this coming election. But then you've got to look at the numbers, okay? Among Democrats, 29% are concerned about election fraud. Among Republicans, it's 88%. 88% of Republicans are very concerned about election fraud. 29% of Democrats. Because Republicans are lied to by Donald Trump and nonstop about this, and because it's a cult. And unfortunately, we've got people who will not think for themselves. They will not do their own research. And they watch channels like Fox News. That's all propaganda and lies. They don't watch real object. They don't watch CNN. They don't watch, CBS, ABC, NBC, read the Washington Post, read the New York Times, read the BBC. I mean, you could read Miami Herald, Chicago Tribune, right? You could read any paper you want. Read any real newspaper in America, and you will learn the truth. But Republicans under Donald Trump believe that literally every newspaper in America is lying to you, and every news channel is lying to you, other than Fox News and 2 other weird little ones the Republicans have. Right? Thank you, Jonathan. But it's crazy. Right. Sure. Right. Every newspaper in America is lying to you other than the 1 or 2 Republican newspapers. Otherwise, every newspaper and every major news network around the world is lying to you. All the American ones are lying to you, except Fox News, the Republican one. They're the only one telling you the truth. That's a pretty good conspiracy, right? But again, if you're dumb enough to believe it, thank you, Marie. Alan, well, exactly. Alan says there was election fraud. It was Trump that committed the fraud. I mean, yes. And Trump did commit significant election fraud that almost changed the election. Yeah. But again, what is upsetting about this is, don't believe me, Google it. Just Google it. Find a credible source. Don't find some loser lunatic. Find a credible source and go read about election fraud in America. And you'll be surprised to read that there has never been any significant election fraud in America. When I say significant, I mean it has never risen to the level of even vaguely threatening the result, right? There's like one guy here that does something stupid, or one dead person who votes in some state, right? And it's always like one person. It's never significant. It never has changed an election. Sorry, I'm going to wipe my nose again because I told you guys my dog got a haircut today. And I am having like allergy attack from my dog, whether it's the stuff they put on her or whether it's the actual, the haircut. Actually, you guys can see, I can show you guys the haircut. There she is. See, are we twins today, you think, with the hair? For you all, it's a little harder. I'm not going to move my phone because it's on the weird jacket. It falls around. Anyway. A little more now. Oh, Trump is lying about disaster relief. What a surprise. Thank you, Monica, for the gift. Do you guys really want to go back and do this again? Do you really want to go back to having Donald Trump as president, where every day we have 10 different things he does that are outrageous and horrible and despicable and unpresidential, right? I mean, really? I think anybody who's like undecided, do you remember how bad it was? Like, you may not be happy right now, but let's face it, things are pretty good right now, right? Do you remember how bad it was? How every day we'd wake up and we'd see the news and go, oh my God, what has he done today? And then there were 5, 8, 10 more things he would do that day that were just so despicable, so embarrassing, so un-American, right? Jay, let me get to your question in a second. Well, I'm trying to think of why I was bringing this up with the disaster relief thing. He lied again today. I mean, this is the number of lies he told alone today that I'm pointing out, right? Listen to this. He's now claiming Again, the disaster relief thing, because we had a big hurricane. Trump is claiming, oh my God, Biden isn't helping the hurricane victims. Biden is helping the hurricane victims, and the Republican governors of 3 states have thanked Joe Biden for all the help they're getting with the hurricane. Georgia, Virginia, and South Carolina governors, Republicans, have all thanked Joe Biden for the help he's giving them in response to the hurricane. Thank you, Jocelyn. But Trump is lying, of course, about it. And he's now claiming that the reason Joe Biden isn't helping these states is because, A, of course, Joe Biden won't help Republicans, right? Except we now know it was Donald Trump who refused to help California, a Democratic state, during the wildfires in 2018. We found out today from 2 White House officials, two Trump White House officials, who admitted that Trump refused to give California money because they voted for Hillary Clinton. They wouldn't give them disaster money. Let's say this. Trump has made, this is from the Washington Post. Trump has made multiple false claims about the hurricane, including saying this week that Georgia governor, well, we know this, Georgia Governor Kemp has been unable to reach Biden, which Kemp said was not true. On Thursday, Trump inaccurately suggested that those affected by the hurricane are getting no help because the federal government has instead spent money on people that should not be in our country. And the Washington Post goes on to explain this is a total lie. Trump is saying the states that are affected are getting no help from the government from the hurricane disaster because Biden gave all the money to Mexicans. Now, 2 things. The Republican governors of those 3 states, Virginia, Georgia, South Carolina, came out publicly and said, we're getting lots of help, and they publicly thanked Joe Biden. Trump's lying about that. He's also lying, claiming that somehow disaster aid is going to Mexicans, which it's not, and legally you can't even do that. What's ironic is the Washington Post points out, you know who did steal disaster aid? Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA. It's called FEMA here in the U.S., the agency that deals with natural disasters, hurricanes, tornadoes, things like that, flooding. Trump was the one who stole disaster money and put it towards immigration. When Trump was president, he diverted nearly $10 million in funding for FEMA, which is the disaster agency, and put it towards U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. He was going to use it to stop Mexicans from crossing the border and this kind of stuff. Now, again, whether you support that or not, there's only one person who has taken federal money for disasters and used it instead on immigration, and it's not Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, it's Donald Trump. He is such a pathological liar. And again, it bothers me because this is such a level to the degree this man lies. He's not a good human being. He's not a good American. He's anti-American. He's not just un-American, he's anti-American. And the fact that people could even vaguely think of supporting this man with the lies he tells, with the horrible things he's done, I think it's important to keep pointing it out. It's just sick. Anyway, Jay asks, what is Trump's plans if he wins this election? I'm not sure what you mean. I mean, he's got a lot of plans. He's going to, probably ban abortions nationwide for starters. Thank you, Dora. Trump, I forgot. I should have told you guys about this one. Trump put out this weird proposal yesterday that he's going to build, did he call them magical cities or something? Freedom cities. He wants to build 10 freedom cities across America. And they're going to be built in parts of the country where there's no cities already. He's going to take like empty land and build 10 new American cities from scratch. And they're going to have housing. Basically, he sounded like the communist Chinese. The Chinese Communist Party has built, thank you, Jay, has built these cities across China that are empty. They're ghost towns. And you can go check online. The videos are amazing because you see these beautiful tall buildings and stuff. They're totally empty because China being a communist dictatorship, they didn't think, hey, why don't we, let the people decide where they want to live, right? And maybe we increase a city where people are already living or where they want to live. China decided it was going to build its own cities out of nowhere and nobody wants to live there. Thank you, Mrs. Toad. And that's what Trump is doing. So we know about that. We know about Project 2025. You should Google it. Project 2025. Actually, Kay just brought it up in response to Jay. Thank you, Kay, for doing that. I just saw Kay's comment, which is actually a very detailed, like hundreds of pages document of former Trump officials working with the top Republican think tank to come up with Trump's plan for what he's going to do day one in office. And it's horrific. He wants to get rid of the Department of Education. He wants to get rid of the healthcare, my health insurance. He wants to, again, take away women's right to an abortion. They want to ban. They want to go after in vitro fertilization. They want to go after actually, what was it? Birth control overall. It's really it's sick. It's pretty sick. Anyway, thank you, Mrs. Toad, for the gift. All right, let's move on to Ukraine. Today is day 952 of Vladimir Putin's special 3-day military operation. Newly appointed NATO Secretary General Mark, is it Rutte? I don't know how you pronounce it. Rutte, he's Dutch, I believe, right? Arrived in Kyiv on October 3rd today for a surprise visit. Ukrainian forces. Now, this is an interesting story. Listen to this. Ukrainian forces attacked a Russian long-range radar system. This might be the same kind of radar system the Ukrainians attacked earlier in the year. They freaked the Biden administration out when they did it. It's a radar system, at least the previous one, and I think this one is too, because it's for ballistic missiles. It is the radar system that Russia uses, among other things, to track like incoming. Well, the previous one was definitely a radar system Russia could use to track incoming nuclear attacks from America. Biden flipped out, absolutely flipped out, and told the Ukrainians don't do it. Well, it looks like they did it again. And this is the weird part. They used U.S. supplied ATACMS missiles to do it. And I'm a little confused because, okay, this missile radar is hugely important. It's $100 million, designed to detect and intercept aerial threats, including ballistic missiles. What confuses me is, if the my dog, I don't think she has to go out. I think she's just being kind of bitchy. I fed her and she wants more food. So she was hitting her bowl left and right. And I was like, no. If she comes here and goes to the door, I'll take her out again. She shouldn't have to, but she could. We'll see. What confuses me is Biden. Oh my God. Let me go make sure. Hold on. Even though she should. Oh, thank you for the buzzing bee, Chazak. Let me just check. Because when she starts doing this, it often means she has to go out, even though she shouldn't have to. What are you doing? What are you doing? Huh? Are you go out here real quick? Let's go real quick. All right, come here. Come here. All right. Give me a second, guys. I think she's faking me because she wants food, but I'm going to take her out just to be safe. 1 sec. You know my dog. You know how this goes. All right. Oh. All right, you are done. You are done, little girl. Hold on. All right. All right, I hope everybody took advantage. Everybody took advantage for the pee break. we have occasional pee breaks for the dog, and it gives you guys a chance to have your own pee breaks. So they're not really regularly scheduled. They just kind of happen. So oh well, what do you do? You know, I take her out, but she's old, and when she's got to go, she got to go. So don't go back to that door. All right. She's going back to the door. I was like, don't you dare. We're done. All right. In any case, so we're talking about the Ukrainians hitting this long-range radar the Russians use. Biden freaked out previously when the Ukrainians hit a long-range radar, so I'm surprised they did it again. Second of all, they reportedly used American ATACMS missiles to do it. If Biden freaked out previously when the Ukrainians did it, why would they do it again using the weapons Biden gave them? That's a little weird. Third, the Ukrainians don't have permission to use ATACMS inside Russia, certainly not long range. So how did they use them to attack this radar unless the Russians put the radar in eastern Ukraine, like in occupied Ukraine, right? Because 18% of Ukraine is occupied by the Russians. So that's the thing I don't know is, could it have been in Crimea? Could it have been in eastern Ukraine? It's a little weird to me. It's a little weird. You got to cut some challah. That's good, Chris. It's a little weird to me, right, as to what's happening here. But I do not believe the Ukrainians would do this if the U.S. said, don't do it with our weapons. So something weird. Yes, the Russians did hit, the Israelis did hit a Russian ammo dump in Syria, I believe. Not in Serbia, but in Syria, I mean, yeah. Correct today. Apparently, it was some kind of a Russian, I don't know if it was a Russian base or a Russian storage area, but I had looked at this earlier today because I heard about it and went, oh, that's interesting. Also very interesting because Israel has tried to sort of preserve relations with Russia to an extreme, where we've been getting upset because Israel has not been very supportive of Ukraine because they wanted to preserve a good relationship with Putin. So it'd be very interesting if, in fact, the Israelis hit any kind of a Russian, arms storage or whatever in Syria today, which is being reported. Thank you, user 504. Thank you, Bryce. Long-range radar is not targeting radar, but eliminating it aids superiority. Well, it certainly helps the Ukrainians. What's weird, though, is this not the same radar that was hit before that I'm not sure it was, though, that the Americans got pissed off about? Because it was a little confusing when I was reading the stories on it today as to whether it was or wasn't. They did say that the Ukrainians had hit a similar system previously, but they didn't mention whether it was the one the U.S. I'm thinking is it the one the Ukrainians hit previously, the white one that's kind of slanted, that's out at like Krasnoyarsk, right? You know what I'm thinking of, right? That radar that's like the advanced radar they use for seeing when the missiles are coming in. Was that not the kind of radar the Ukrainians hit before? It's not Krasnodar, it's Krasnoyarsk, I believe. Those of you who know what I mean, right? The early nuclear warning detection, exactly. It's like this big, huge thing. It's kind of white and like tilted sideways a little bit, like this, almost a wing sticking out of the ground. In any case, it's very cool. I mean, kind of cool if you like nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapon radar, but you know what I mean. It's in a war sense, it's an interesting kind of thing. All right, let's keep moving here. Beep, 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 beep. Kyiv Independent. Ukraine has received more than 1/3 of the 500,000 155 millimeter shells expected to be delivered on the Czech initiative. So this is a little weird. Over the horizon radar. Okay, yeah. The Ukrainians. Okay, the Czech Republic, to their credit, has done what it could do to try to buy additional artillery ammunition for Ukraine. We kept hearing different amounts of money they raised, right? They were trying to buy 1.5 million artillery shells. What they're saying now is the Czech government has provided 1/3 of the 500,000 shells expected to be delivered this year. That means that's only 160,000 shells. That's okay, but it's not great. So I'm not too, when I heard this story, I went, that doesn't sound like very much. So I'm not too thrilled about that. Jen, I'm glad you finally got the notice I'm live, but yes, I've been live for 42 minutes. TikTok's been evil again lately. TikTok gave me a little shadow ban earlier this week. They were refusing to promote my videos. And now today it looks like it's back to normal. But the last like 3 days, they just literally, my videos, I'd get like 500 people watching it. I mean, my videos, I get 40,000 views on TikTok. Crazy stuff. Thank you, Boudere. Thank you, Monica. Oh, that's funny. Easty is just getting the notice as well. Yeah, 42 minutes later. What do you do? Thank you, Monica. What else? I was looking here at the All right. Let's keep going here. Oh, Ukraine received a Patriot air defense system from Bucharest, Romania today. That's good. The Romanians, I think I've got the story right. The Romanians were trying to piece together, I believe, a Patriot missile system using different parts from different NATO allies and stuff. And it looks like, if this is the same one, and I think it is, they finally succeeded in putting it together. Now, the Patriot missiles, you guys know, this is the actual entire missile system, not just the missiles themselves. The radar, the targeting, all this kind of stuff, right? Hugely important to Ukraine. Ukraine needs more of them for basically blocking the Russian attacks as they come in every night. So this is a big deal. Kursk. So we haven't had too much of an update from Kursk lately. Kursk is the region across the border in Russia that the Ukrainians invaded and are basically holding hostage. They're occupying a little bit of Russia in retaliation for Russia occupying a big chunk of Ukraine. The Kyiv Independent reports that Russian forces continue striking settlements in Russia's Kursk Oblast, even when there are no Ukrainian troops present. The Ukrainians say the Russians are attacking their own civilians, but they're like, and I read this at the beginning of the invasion, of the beginning of Ukraine's invasion of Russia, that the Russians kept bombing cities where the Ukrainians weren't even in. And they were just like bombing their own people, as Russia does. But I just thought that was kind of funny. I just had to read you that because it's just so typical of them. Ukraine struck an airfield in Russia's Voronezh Oblast with drones overnight. Russian warehouses containing guided aerial bombs and hangars with Su-35 and Su-34 aircraft were hit, including aviation storage facilities. That's good. Politico reports. Oh, this is interesting. This is the last story I've got. Politico is reporting that the Saudi Arabia is kind of screwing Russia. It's very interesting. So Saudi Arabia, OPEC, big oil countries, the big oil countries got together decades ago and formed OPEC, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. Thank you, Succeed. It's the Arab countries. It's other countries around the world, including Venezuela. It might even include, I'm trying to remember is it Indonesia? I'm trying to remember who in Asia also produces oil. But it certainly includes the Middle Eastern countries as well. And the Saudis like to play games. Thank you, Jen. And thank you, Succeed. Multiple Jen. I don't remember if Mexico's a member of OPEC. Is it Nigeria? That makes sense. I don't remember sort of all the countries that are members of OPEC. But what they try to do is it's a cartel. It's like a conspiracy almost of sorts. And they try to like regulate the price of oil because they're the biggest oil producers, or they're most of the biggest oil producers. And they either pump out more oil to lower the price or less oil to raise the price, right? If you don't pump as much oil, there's more demand and there's less oil, so the price goes up. Well, Saudi Arabia has been playing games forever with this, right? Screwing around with raising the price when they want to. And they tell the other countries, okay, everybody cut back on your production. We want to raise the price. Well, Saudi Arabia has been telling the other OPEC countries to cut back on production, so the price will go up. And the Russians, among others, are refusing because Russia is desperately in need of money for the war effort. 40 to 50% of Russia's federal budget, for the federal government in Russia, the budget, the countries like the Kremlin's budget, right? Every year they spend 40 to 50% of the money for the budget comes from oil and gas sales, right? So oil sales for Russia are hugely important. Well, Saudi Arabia told the Russians, among others, cut back, stop selling so much oil. We need to get the price up. The Russians refused because the Russians need the money. So Saudi Arabia has now said, screw you. And they're going to dump a bunch of oil on the market, killing oil prices, bringing oil prices down about, I'm trying to think if they're saying, we don't know how much. We don't know how much they're going to bring it down by. Thank you, Kat Vanted and Daniel. But the article in Politico was saying this is going to be a disaster for Russia. Basically, oil is currently at $70. OPEC wants it to be $100 a barrel. It's only $70 a barrel. And the Russians, among others, are refusing to cut back production. So OPEC is going to just drown the market with oil so that there's so much oil that people can't buy enough, and the price goes down, and it screws countries like Russia and others, which is kind of interesting. Anyway, I thought that was kind of fun. Politico, they talked to an economic expert who said, at current exchange rates, a $20 fall in oil prices would lead to a $20 billion fall in revenues for Russia. That's equivalent to about a 1% of Russia's gross domestic product. So Russia could lose 1% of its economy, in essence, if oil prices drop, which would be pretty huge. Quote, the government in Russia would face a choice of either reducing spending, unlikely during a war, or accepting inflationary pressure and stiflingly high interest rates. So what could happen as a result is Russia's inflation could go through, it's already pretty high, actually. Inflation, I think in Russia might be 15, 16%. No, is it inflation? No, inflation, I believe, is at 8%, but interest rates are as high as 15 or 16% already. And they're going to have to raise interest rates even more. So this is good news for Ukraine. It's good news for anybody who's not thrilled with Russia, basically. Anyway, all right, Marianne. Hello, Marianne. So welcome, guys. This is the part of the show we hang out, we chat. So hello. We can talk about Ukraine. We can talk about Russia. We can talk about the Middle East. I know you guys love to talk about that. Not too much update on the Middle East today, though. And we can certainly talk about the American election. Thank you, Jetta. I did not, Dark Phoenix. See your question on Discord about Jack Smith's legal brief about J6. I did not. I haven't checked into this Discord today. What was your question, if I may ask? Thank you, Rebecca. At least somebody likes my hair. Thank you. I was a little nervous at first, but I've come around and I now like my hair. Ευχαριστώ, Reduk. My hair, yeah, people were making fun of my haircut, but I like it. Thank you, Al. Thank you, Nicole. Marine John. I didn't think it looks military. Because I like my hair when it's curly, but sometimes it's fun just to kind of, okay, I'll take a look, Big Hawk. I'll take a look. Thank you. Secret Service with Russian informants. I did not hear that. Thank you, Brian Roberts on YouTube for the gift. I appreciate that. The cool gift. Bald? Well, I'm not bald, so I'm not going to shave my hair bald. No, I wouldn't do that. I have not considered shaving my hair bald. No. I like my hair too much. Short is kind of fun and different and easy. I like the ease, like when I wake up, but I'm certainly not going to shave it off. I don't know if I'm going for that, J-Sco, but that might be a little more than I'm going for. But yeah, I am a bit old to fight in Ukraine. Exactly. What else we got, guys? What else we got? Ask away. And then remember, Saturday, like I said, Saturday we'll do our coffee talk show for the paid subscribers. Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, 10:30 a.m. Central time. That's Chicago time where I am. So keep that in mind. Thank you, Darian, for the gift as well. The cool gift as well on YouTube. Appreciate that. Yeah, I saw that. So the Kid Dre is mentioning that Melania Trump, we mentioned this earlier today, Melania Trump is coming out in support of abortion rights. It's a little weird. I'm having a hard time believing that she's doing this without Trump's consent, because she doesn't seem to be somebody who really, she doesn't like the man, but she doesn't publicly stand up against him. You know what I mean? I wonder whether she's got a new book and she's trying to sell her book and make money. That's the first thing. Second of all, I think Trump is trying to put her out there as, look, my wife is so pro-abortion. See how nice she is? I'm not that bad a guy. Because clearly Trump is very worried about the fact that women are finally getting the message that he took away their right to an abortion in America. Women used to have a constitutionally protected right to abortion, abortion and all kinds of healthcare in America. Trump took it away. He got that. He promised he was going to take it away, and he took it away. That's, that has caused a lot of problems for Republicans in the elections over the last 2 years. Trump is afraid it's going to cause him problems with this election. So now he's trying to lie. Notice J.D. Vance did this in the debate the other night. They're trying to lie about it. Oh, no, we're all for helping women and children and blah, blah, blah. No, they're not. So, well, okay. Oh, speaking of it, Martin says, how high is Melania's paycheck? Funny you should ask that. CNN reported that, when they heard Melania's book was coming out, thank you, PAU or POW. Oh, Paul. I saw PAU at the top. Thank you, Paul. CNN's reporting that Melania, when they found out a couple months ago that she had a new book coming out, they contacted her representatives and said, we'd like to interview her. Last week, Melania's representatives got back to CNN and said, here's a contract, sign it, and we will let you interview her. The contract included a $250,000 fee for Melania to be interviewed by CNN about her book. This family, no one, no former president acts this way. No former president's wife acts this way. No one. It is unheard of in American history to act like this. These people are unbelievable. Who do I think will win the elections? I think it is a very scary tie right now, BC. It's good that it's a tie in the sense that Trump isn't ahead, but it's bad that it's a tie because everybody knows who Trump is. Trump should not be at half of the country should not be supporting Trump at this point. Thank you, Luis, for the garland. That's pretty bad. I'm hoping that starts to change between now and the election, but I don't know. I'm a little worried, and because also people vote early, so voting's already started in a lot of states too. Is this true, Noah, that the dock strike is suspended for now? Is that true? I did not hear that. I hope that's true. That'd be a big deal. if anybody can confirm that, but that's a big deal. Politico just reported it. Oh, great. Oh, excellent. Well, that's good. Yeah, that dock strike was bad news for the economy, bad news for Biden because it would hurt the economy. And honestly, they handled it very poorly, the longshoremen. I mean, literally, they declared their strike, and then the news came out that, like, these guys make $1 bazillion a year, and they're demanding more money. Like, yeah. Anyway. Don't know. Or right, do they struck a deal or it's suspended? So it's suspended while they're negotiating, maybe? Oh, no. Oh, Manda says they reached an agreement and returned to work tomorrow, according to CNN. Oh, that's good. That's good. Thank you, Nicola. That's an interesting question. Ortal asks, how would or could the Iran-Israel conflict affect the elections? Typically, who did I have on the show? I'm forgetting his name now. He's very good. He's an American, Brian is his name. I'm trying to remember his last name. He's an American who teaches at one of the universities in London. Forgetting which, maybe University College, I forget which. But he's an American, but teaches like U.S. politics and all of this. Brian, I'm forgetting his last name. Very good guy. He wrote a book about like authoritarian governments. And I had him on my podcast several years ago. And he had said that typically in times of crisis, voters tend to turn to conservative. They turn to the right. They turn to the right-wing candidates. And my concern with, Israel and Iran and all of that is more crisis breaks out in the Middle East, bigger war, this kind of stuff. Iran gets involved. America gets more involved. We're part of the fighting. Voters tend to turn to the right when that happens. They tend to trust Republicans more in times of war than they do Democrats or people on the right wing. The other problem is, and Trump has been trying to argue this, is Trump is arguing, oh, look at all these wars, Russia invading Ukraine, Israel getting attacked. We didn't have any of this when I was president, which is bullshit. We were actually at war. We had troops in Afghanistan when Trump was president. But it's a wider war in the Middle East could make voters think, wow, things are getting out of control with Biden. Maybe we should try somebody else. So I think my thinking is that's and you've got I'm sorry, but I think they're spoiled brats, but you've got sort of the Palestinian left in America that are a bunch of spoiled brats. And they are telling people not to vote for Kamala Harris unless she turns her back on Israel. And I'm sorry, but that's going to happen when pigs fly in America. Because I got news for you. Democrats are going to lose a hell of a lot more votes if they turn on Israel than if they than the votes they're going to gain by embracing the Palestinians and screwing Israel. It's just stupid. But the Palestinian lobby that's this big, but has important votes in like Michigan, is trying to screw over Kamala Harris and get Trump elected because somehow these people think Trump isn't going to be worse. Trump, they think, will not be worse. Trump, who tried to ban all Muslims last time from entering the U.S. Trump tried to ban Muslims from entering the U.S. And Muslim Americans think, oh, he's not going to be any worse. Well, if you don't think he's going to be any worse, then good luck. Good luck. Because Trump would like urge Israel to use nuclear weapons if Trump had a choice. So yeah, but in any case, so that could happen too. That you get, more war breaking out in the region, and the crazies on the far left convince people not to vote for Democrats because they're upset that Democrats won't stab Israel, which no one's ever going to do. I don't know if you're allowed. You can try. I don't know. Well, you can. Can you leave an AP News link in the Discord chat? You should be able to. I think you can. Yeah. You could put it under whatever topic is whatever topic it's related to, but you should be able to leave links to articles. I think you can. So yeah, now Trump wants to kick out all Haitians. I saw that today. It's going to be interesting because Haitians are a significant vote in Florida, and Trump just said he wants to kick them all out now. Again, the man will say any lie, will go to any extremism, will promote any kind of hate, any kind of violence he needs to. A link to Discord. You can try to go via my profile on TikTok. There's a Discord. Well, go to the main link in my profile. The what's it called? I'm already forgetting what it's called. The main link in my profile, you'll see the URL. Click it, and the top thing that comes up, I think, is Discord. So you can click that, and you should be able to get through. Some people say it doesn't work. For some people, it doesn't work. I don't know why. Linktree. Maybe we can ask Syndicate to create another link. It wasn't working. It used to work, and then it wasn't working. I don't know why it keeps screwing up. Or just go to Discord and search for my last name. The other go, discord.gg/Aravosis. So why everyone is praising Kamala today? Oh, I don't know. I don't think anything new has happened, Andrew, necessarily. Maybe because she rocks. No, I don't know of any specific reason today more than any other day. Oh, she's live. That's interesting. What else we got here? Okay. Contract extended to January 15th. That's good. That's after the election. That's good. I wouldn't be surprised if people told them, you want to screw Biden and get Trump as president? You want to wait and see how much damage is going to happen to you? Just get Trump back in office and see how well you do. The tablecloth. Yeah, we're still not sure what we're doing with the tablecloth, Lynn. I emailed the people in Ireland who said they never produced linen. That Irish mill that you guys recommended, they said they never produced linen like that. So, but we're trying to decide if we're going to sell it or what, because it's like I said, kind of none of us are going to use it, but it's like mom's and it might be expensive. So I'm not sure I want to sell it for just $300 to $500. You know what I mean? So we're trying to decide what to do about that. Because I don't just want to put it in a closet. It's stupid to keep it in a closet and never use it. You know what I mean? So we're struggling. It's hard when you think of like when you're trying to figure out what to do with your parents' stuff when they die, and you're trying to like empty out the house, and like it's so hard to get rid of the good stuff because even if you're not going to use it, you're like, what do? You know? Yeah, textile museum. I don't know that they'd actually use it though, would they? I mean, the problem is, well, I don't want to get into a whole discussion on the tablecloth again, but it is this like linen hand woven tablecloth that you've got to wash by hand. So every time you have a dinner party, you've got to wash the tablecloth by hand and then stretch it out wet and dry. They're not fun. I remember my mom doing this. They're not fun at all. Nobody's going to use it, Marie. That's the problem. Nobody's going to use it. It's too hard to use, you know? A lot of my dad's stuff is still in the house too. Yeah. Yeah. I know we're going to have to see. I mean, I'm kind of getting more and less interested in an estate sale, to be honest. But I don't know. I mean, the problem is it's very pretty as a tablecloth. It's very old lady if you're making it into clothes. Like I'm not gonna have a pillow that I'm not gonna put a lace pillow in my apartment. You know what I mean? Whereas as a tablecloth, I would use it as a tablecloth, but I won't because it's just it's too hard to wash. Oh no, I watched my mother wash this thing by hand. There's no way I'm going to do it, Anyway, what else we got going? Glass top. I know. Put everything in someone's garage and leave it there for E. What is E? Oh, for 30 years. Exactly. That's my concern. Hey, rank my high. That's my concern. I don't want to just save something to save it until I die. It's like, and then what do? Keep passing it through the family until nobody uses it? Like, it's a little, smaller tablecloths. Again, no one's going to use it. That's the problem. No one wants to use a tablecloth that you've got to wash by hand. I mean, we may put it on eBay. The problem is I have no idea what to put as a minimum for it because I'd hate to sell it for just a couple hundred. If I was going to sell it for a couple $100s, I'd rather sell it to you guys. You know what I mean? Somebody who would appreciate it that I know, so to speak. You know what I mean? No, you can't frame it. It's huge. It's to seat 10 to 12 people. I forgot. I wrote down the size of it, but it's huge. Yeah, maybe we'll put it on eBay and put the reserve high and see what happens. I don't know whether anybody on eBay would pay a couple $1,000s for it, would they? You know what I mean? I don't know. Refrigerator, we'll see. Shipping, I don't think shipping would be a lot. No, because it's cloth. I don't think shipping would be that bad. I'd have to see what shipping is, but I don't think it would be that bad. You know, made into a window treatment. Again, for my taste, it's old lady. As a tablecloth, I love it. I do not love it as decoration because it looks like old lady lace to me. So as windows or as clothing to me, a wedding dress would be stunning, I think. That's true. As a tablecloth, I love it. But I wouldn't want it for stuff on my wall because then it starts to get old and like it's old lace. It's grandma. On my wall, it's grandma. On my table, I think it's stunning. You know, for like a formal dinner party, you know. I know Antiques Roadshow, yeah. I don't know. With eBay, you need to have very nice photography. True, it'd have to really do good pictures of it too. Because here's the thing: who's going to want to pay a couple grand for a couple thousand for something unless they really know it's in good shape and everything? You know what I mean? Like I'm very stunned about what to do with this. Well, the problem with eBay is typically on eBay, I don't sell to foreigners on eBay. I don't trust selling to foreigners on eBay. Thank you, Net Zero. I'd always been told that buying and selling internationally on eBay is risky as hell. You send it to somebody and then they put a stop payment on it and say they didn't, you know, whatever the hell, complaint. You know what I mean? You know, so hey Wilford. So typically eBay, I don't allow things to go international on eBay, you know, for that reason. Oh, that's fun. I don't know what I just don't know what we're going to do. We're going to have to decide soon what we're doing about it. Because again, I just think it's stupid to just keep it and never use it. That seems dumb to me. You know. Well, Rank, the strike apparently just ended, according to all the news. They just, or at least it's postponed. I don't know if it's postponed until January or ended with a new contract, but it's been called off. So I'm glad. I didn't know enough about it, you know, but you know. Just looking here. I don't know. I mean, honestly, the estate sale thing, because my nephews are taking a lot of stuff, I don't even know that we can have an estate sale. I think the house is too confusing right now with stuff to even have an estate sale at this point. You know, a woman sells on eBay from garage sales, tons of lawsuits against her. What does that mean? Why lawsuits? Oh, you mean she buys things from garage sales and then sells it on eBay? Well, that's her right to do. If you sell it to somebody, you know, you give them the right to resell it. I mean, you know, I mean, there isn't much news on the Middle East. I didn't really talk about the Middle East. I was talking about the U.S. election in Ukraine today, really, you know. Oh, boy. Hi. Now, we're going to have to decide soon what to do with this. I just don't know. I don't know. Yep, we saw that the dock workers reached an agreement. We did see that, which we are glad. Thank you. Oh, Arifa. Good to see you. Huge garage sale for it with all of your mom's stuff. Tons of people looking specifically. Now, but you held your own garage sale. That's interesting. That's interesting. Interesting. Huh. We're gonna. I mean, again, we were gonna do an estate sale. Now I'm not even convinced about the estate sale because, like, my nieces and nephews are taking enough stuff that I think it gets very confusing what we're even selling in an estate sale. I don't even know yet. Like, half the stuff is going, half of it's not. I just we're considering just donating a bunch to charity and writing it off. I just don't even know what to do at this point. Like I said, my nephew's coming over in a little bit, I think, so we can discuss it. Because we've got like a lot of nice Waterford crystal that I'd like to sell. I'm certainly not giving that to charity. But I'm not sure, like, you know what I mean, whether that's easier with Facebook or whether something on Waterford, for example, is better with eBay, you know? Yeah, I just worry about the international. Like I said, people have told me international is a disaster. The house is not on the market yet. Nope. That selling on eBay internationally, you're going to get screwed. People will just lie to you, and you'll send stuff abroad. And Syndicate was telling me about it. You'll send stuff, and then people challenge it and say, "Oh, they didn't get it, or it's not what you promised," and it's just a total disaster. Right, that's the problem. Tree is the estate sales companies take so much, and they kind of seem to be thieves. You know, they already have taken what they want. We've got a lot left. That's the problem. Oh, Germany. I mean, I'm not sure what's new with Germany right now. I know Austria had the crazy far right party that just won. Do I trust TikTok Shop? I don't distrust TikTok. TikTok like wants me to open a shop. I never quite thought of it. I guess I never quite thought of that. I could put it on my TikTok shop. The problem is TikTok probably wants too much money. How much money does TikTok want from the shop? I wonder. You know? You know? Well, the Waterford is an interesting question. Yeah. I don't know whether people do or don't want them. I mean, they still are when you eBay them, the prices are pretty consistent. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm really kind of struggling with what to do with the remaining stuff. Because the problem is, the auction, the estate sale people all seem to be thieves. Thank you, Brian. But at the same time, we've got to get rid of the stuff, So it's just a very, and we don't want to spend. I don't want to spend the next 4 months selling stuff. You know what I mean? It's just too much. The TikTok shop is a lot of that stuff from the like Chinese resale stuff or whatever it is. I mean, dude, I just can't. I'm sorry, but I can't allow spam like that. Can't trust it. Yep. I just muted it too, Ash. We just can't trust it. Totally could be a scammer. Russia hacking into the police database in the Netherlands? No, I did not see that. Estate sales take like 30 to 45%. Sometimes usually around 40%. They take a lot. And some of them require you to pay as well. Mods, make sure you report this person before you delete them. Report them. Report that person. Don't just mute them. Ash, make sure you report that. I want a screen cap of that because when TikTok says the person didn't commit, the person said we should go kill ourselves. And when TikTok doesn't ban that person, I want to post it publicly. Anybody get a screenshot or not? All right, we'll see. Okay, good. Israel, I think, is going to have to, if you got it, email it to me, Wilford. Israel's going to have to hit Iran back. They can't set a precedent where Iran can keep doing this. Thank you, Tony. Caps, they do, but Syndicate went through living hell buying and selling things internationally on eBay and told me not to. He said it was just horrific because people internationally just lie. Your stuff goes, and all of a sudden your stuff is now over there, and they say this isn't what I ordered, and all of a sudden it's trapped thousands of miles away in Ethiopia or somewhere. So I'm not thrilled about. Like, I trust some of you guys, but I don't trust generic person on eBay, which makes it hard then because then on eBay I'd be selling just to Americans or Americans and Canadians. So it's hard. We will see. Oh, sorry, Amanda. The YouTube ads. Sorry. Thank you, Wilford. Yeah, let's see. I'm waiting to see. Although I didn't get, the thing is, I didn't get to report the person. So you guys, when you get the report back, Dawn or Ash or whoever reported it, send me the response to the report. Because if TikTok says this person didn't violate any rules, then I'm going to cause major trouble for Moose and Squirrel. Got my hair cut when I was in DC this last weekend. Oh, God. Well, I mean, Wilson asked, how does sort of the Middle East thing end in anything other than all-out war? It doesn't end in all-out war when Israel can blow the crap out of the Iranians, which they can. I mean, Iran isn't a match for Israel. Iran doesn't even have an air force. Israel will destroy Iran. So Iran could try to do all-out war with Israel, and Iran will lose badly. So it's not at all clear that Israel hitting back causes war with Iran, because Iran can't win. So it's, and the problem is, if you're Israel, You can't let Iran blow the crap out of you every 3 months with impunity. You can't. No country can do that, you know? So it's, I don't know, it's a tough, thank you, Wiley. I'm hoping that's a good thing. You know, will Ukrainians do anything during the winter? What do you mean by that? Well, Iran's neighbors reportedly told Iran that if they start a war with Israel, the Arab neighbors will be neutral. They're not going to pick a side, which I thought was very interesting. Basically telling the Iranians to stop playing games. So that was interesting. I wouldn't trust any report about Israel, about damage in Israel, unless it came from somewhere credible. You know, there's an air base that does have F-35s and other planes, I believe, in Israel. An air base that did show, satellite image showed damage on 4 different parts of the air base, but it's not clear what, if anything, was damaged. So if it's coming from a good source, I would trust it, but I would just be careful what source you're getting it from, you know. Ukraine's mud season. Well, this is the mud and then the winter coming where everything slows down. So it's not clear what can happen, what Ukraine or Russia can do over the winter. Things are going to get pretty much locked down to a good degree, you know. Israel does have nukes, but they're not going to use them, but they do. I mean, if Israel were existentially threatened, they would use their nukes, but otherwise they're not going to use nukes. Yeah. Which is also why we shouldn't be worried about Russia using nukes, because they really can't. You know. Exactly, Gunther. That was my concern with eBay. Exactly. And again, Syndicate literally saw it happen repeatedly. He was like, forget it. Yeah, I think if anything, I think Israel will hit Iran's nuclear facilities. That would make sense. Biden said not to. Biden's an idiot. Of course they should. You know, hitting the oil's bad because then it raises oil prices, which hurts all of us. Hitting Iran's nuclear facilities is like, yes. You know, gee, set back Iran's ability to get a nuclear weapon works for me. You know, you know. Yeah, that's the problem. The scam thing is bad. I just, I don't know. I've sold stuff on eBay before, though. I've done well, but it hasn't been for years, though, now. So I worry about whether it actually works, you know. But hello, Croatian memes. We're almost done with the show, however, but welcome. We've been going for an hour and 20 minutes, so I'm ending shortly. But no, I do hope Israel takes out some of Iran's nuclear capability. But let's see. You know, who knows? I'm going to pick you up and show you to everybody now that you've got a nice haircut. Hello. She's got her hair. We both got our nice haircuts. You don't want to look at you don't want to look at the computer, do you? Okay. She's looking away. All right. Okay. You can go down. You can go down. There you go. All right. She got her haircut today too. Well, mine was last weekend. Hers was today. Yeah. I mean, I've done okay with eBay, selling and buying both, you know. Thanks, Wilson. You know, we've done both. I mean, I've done both, which worked okay. But again, I typically buy from people. Relax. I typically buy from people that have sold a lot. And people that have bought from me have paid and left good reviews. And I mean, I've only sold good stuff, you know, but nonetheless, you know, yeah, that sucks about the scammers though. How do people scam on eBay? Like if it's domestic, what do? Don't they pay? Or like if they don't pay, you're not going to mail it. You know what I mean? But like, how do they actually scam? I'll have to Google this and see. Well, there was destruction. I don't know if did Israel destroy? I forgot. Was it an airstrike? I'm trying to remember. There was that Stuxnet thing where we destroyed their facilities with the virus. Israel did bomb a plant a long time ago, didn't they? I think they did. Yeah, Sasha also got a military haircut. Exactly. You're boarding a flight to Mexico in 12 minutes? Oh, that's exciting. Are you going to give them all our FEMA money? Get the package and complain. Oh, I see. Oh, so even domestically they're doing that. Even domestically. Wow. See, that's scary. That's scary. Wow. Ugh, I don't know. You're all making me nervous about using eBay now too. I don't know. I don't know. You know, I just don't know. Again, Discord's been great, but I don't know there's a big enough audience to sell stuff on Discord. I still may. Our Discord auctions. I'm going to put some stuff on Discord anyway, but I haven't quite decided what, you know, and I fear like the tablecloth might just be too expensive for Discord because we've never really done stuff that's been more than several $100s. You know what I mean? So I just don't know whether that's enough, you know, whether Discord's big enough for that. Mind you, like Etsy, I'm new on, so I don't have any history. Whereas on eBay, I have history going back 20 years, you know? Thank you, Eileen. Somebody likes my hair at least. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, cutting the tablecloth into small pieces feels criminal to me. Well, I mean, Amanda did some research for us, and looking at similar tablecloths, you seem to be talking several $1,000s, which sounds like a lot to me. I mean, meaning, are there that many people that would do that? That's actually illegal? What's illegal, Amanda? What, cutting up the tablecloth? Wait, what's Amanda is here today. What's illegal? Thank you, Ochum. Cutting it. Oh, she's saying cutting it. Well, that's what I mean. Like cutting it would be like a crime. You know what I mean? It would be just too much of a crime cutting it up. This table. All right, I will grab the tablecloth and show you guys one more time. Hold on. Since everyone's like, exactly. Somebody on eBay goes on TikTok goes, what is this tablecloth we're talking about? All right, 1 second here. If I can find it. If I can bury it again. Yeah. All right. Oh my God, we actually have several of these. We actually have a few of these. So, sorry, these are the placemats. I'll put this over here. So this is, my mom recently passed away, and we're dealing with the estate. And this is a tablecloth she got from relatives in Panama back in the 1970s. And we don't know where it's made. We do know the type. Amanda checked it out, and it's Richelieu style or pattern or whatever. And what is it? Madeira, Madeira, Madeira is the style. But it's this really beautiful, I think handmade tablecloth that you've got that seats like 10 or 12 people. Battenberg lace, other people are saying, but it's, I can show you the tablecloth itself gives you a sense of the detail. This is the tablecloth, and you get it's a stunning thing, but they're very difficult. You got to wash them by hands, and it's just very, it's a lot of work, but they're stunning. They're absolutely stunning, it's just a stunning thing. So we're trying to kind of figure out what to do with it because you got to wash it by hand, and it is 100% handmade. That's what I thought. It's handmade, and it's absolutely stunning. But what do you do with, you have to wash it by hand. So we're not willing to do that. You know what I mean? And what do? Do you keep it for 30 or 40 years just because it was mom's, but you're not going to use it? That seems silly to me, But if we were to sell it or whatever, I'd like to sell it for a good price because it almost feels wrong selling it for a couple $100s if it really might be worth a couple thousand. So I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. But that's the question. Eileen says, where's there a market for those tablecloths? That's the question too. Well, the market is people that want it. You know what I mean? Is it large enough for 14-inch oval? Not, or 14-foot oval? Not oval, no, because it's a rectangle. It's a rectangle. Thanks, Sally. It's a rectangle. I'd have to look. I wrote down actually, I can look here really quick. I wrote down the size. 1 second here. Let me look. I think I've got the size. 1 second here. Tablecloth. I think I have the size. Beep, 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 beep. It's around 5'6" by 10'6". Okay. So we'd have to do inches, whatever the hell that is. I think I had this before. Didn't I do it? Alexa, what is 5'6" in inches?
5 feet 6 inches is 66 inches.
Alexa, what is 10'6" in inches?
10 feet 6
126?
inches is 126 inches.
Yep. So 66 inches by 126 inches. So for the Americans out there, you know, see you, Marion. Yeah, I don't know what to do with it. It's just so hard to price stuff. It is very hard to price stuff. You know what I mean? We've got like a cloisonné vase we're trying to figure out that's like 18 inches tall. I have no clue what it's worth because we're trying to sort of keep things fair between the siblings, you know, how much stuff each of us get. So I'm trying to keep like an idea of the value, but like a cloisonné vase, I'm like, who the hell knows? You know? Yeah, you're 5'6", so it's as tall. So it's an Ashley width. It's the width of Ashley. You know, there'd be a market in New York City, Long Island City. Yeah, well, I mean, again, we can sell it online. Antiques Roadshow, I know. Salvation Army is evil. We don't donate to them, Mike. But I just don't know. We can try Facebook Marketplace. I don't know. Although I guess in Chicago, because we were wondering if it's not a big enough audience, but in the Chicago area, somebody seeing it who really wants it, you know, would certainly drive 45 minutes because it's a wonderful tablecloth. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, putting huge frames. Yeah, but it's too big for us to do. Oh, Salvation Army is a long story. Salvation Army is super anti-gay, but also they're religious right. They're a religious right activist organization, and they consider themselves an evangelical Christian church. But I'm talking that crazy right-wing Republican evangelical Christian thing. That's literally the Salvation Army. Long story here. I've gone after them for years on this, but they're literally an evangelical Christian activist church. It's like, I will give things to churches. I will not give it to some religious right church. There's no way. So that's the problem. You know, I mean, Chicago's a nice big area though. So like even Facebook, maybe there's a chance on Facebook Marketplace that enough people would see it. I never know how many people get to see it there, but there's a chance, you know. We could do cash only. Also, you know, if I put it on Facebook Marketplace, I'm happy to send you guys the listings too, because you know, I can always work that out with you. You know what I mean? You pay via PayPal or whatever it is, you know, and then we know we've got the money. But as I said, I just worried because I wasn't sure. I'm happy to put stuff on Discord, but I worry about stuff like this being too expensive for our Discord crowd because we haven't sold things this expensive before. You know, I don't even know if you can send these things to the cleaners. Can you? Can you? I don't think so. Traditionally, you had to wash these by hand. Yeah, I don't think you can. Amanda's still here. Amanda, can these things even go to cleaners? I don't think so. Let's see if she's still here. I wouldn't. Yeah. No, I mean, there's, you know, the placemats, the thing is, I'm only counting, I think, 7 of the placemats, and I don't know why. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm counting 6. Oh, wait, 6 placemats. I've got 6 placemats. I do have 2 runners, which is interesting because the runners are smaller, which is nice. There's 2 runners like this. I'm forgetting the total length, but you can sort of get a sense, right, by me doing this. The runners look to me to be 4 feet, maybe 4 feet, a little over 4 feet by 18 inches. So there are those. Those would certainly go, you know, those would go for less. There are 6 placemats. I mean, the question becomes, I don't think there's a problem breaking it apart. You know what I mean? Because I think placemats are affordable to people. So the placemats are a possibility, you know? Oh, the runners are for the buffet. Well, it makes sense. It wouldn't be for the table. Yeah, the runners are for the buffet. That makes sense. I think they're 4 feet, Drake, from the size looked like 4 feet. I'll measure them. Maybe I'll put the placemats, and I assume the placemats, what I do the placemats is 6 placemats, right? I would sell them together, I'm assuming, because who wants one unless you're framing it? It seems kind of stupid. Thank you, Les Mis, or Les Mis, Les Mis for the heart. Right? But I'm assuming the placemats you do together. I don't know enough about Mark Rutte. I mean, he seems to be a good guy, you know, good on Ukraine, etc. Yeah, let me see. Oh, you'd sell the set though, Laura says. See, the only thing is I'm not convinced people want the placemats because the placemats to me blend in too much with the actual, like this is the placemat with the actual thing, right? It almost blends in. I mean, the placemats are lighter in color. This one's older, so it's a little more discolored. But I almost think I'd rather have the dish on the thing itself, you know? Let's see. We'll see about it. We'll see about it. Yeah. Okay. There's no way I would trust a modern washing machine. No way. No way. No way. Yeah. Well, the placemats are kind of small, which is funny. They're a little, and also like, 4 of them are darker color. 4 of them are a little darker. The other ones are a little whiter. The thing's 50 years old. I know we're overthinking it. I know. Anyway, let me see. I'll, like I said, I'm not convinced the placemats need to go with the tablecloth. I'm not convinced. Maybe, but it's only 6 of them anyway. The tablecloth is gigantic. It seats like 10 people. So I'm not convinced about the placemats, but the placemats certainly are affordable. The runners are affordable. We can see. Again, my nephew's trying to give me advice, and I'll talk to my sister about it. But because we've been, we'd like to sell what we can, some of the nicer stuff. I do see. I think what QT Chem just said, or Chem, would be neat. Somebody mentioned this before. Check with a bridal dressmaker, like the lace for custom wedding dress would be so cool. I do think that's pretty neat. Any mess ends up on the placemats, but not the tablecloth. Yeah, that's true. Yep. True. If it's the only problem is the placemats themselves have holes in them, so I'm not convinced. Right? It saves you to some degree, but not completely. I would sell the placemats as a set of 6, and as I said, like a couple of them are browner than the rest because they're that old. But no, let's see. We'll see. But I think the placemats go together. Thank you, Carol. That's true. You could use bluing to wash them before selling. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think of that, Drake. Oh, that's true. Again, we've got enough stuff. Let me see. But, although somebody could honestly buy it and blue it themselves, blew it. Yeah, the doilies for the coffee table. Oh, yeah, my mom's got a few doilies as well, Yeah, colored cloth under the lace would be pretty, actually. That would be pretty. Yeah. Yeah. Let me see, guys. Like I said, I'm going to decide in the next day or two on some of these things, but we'll do it. Yep. Have an auction. That's what we plan on doing. The problem is like doing an online auction. We've got so much stuff in the house that we're actually considering just giving a lot of it to charity and writing it off and maybe trying to sell some of the nicer pieces like this. We've got some nice Waterford that may or may not sell. I mean, the eBay prices are pretty consistent for Waterford, but who knows if they sell? We're going to find out. You know what I mean? But I thought, I don't know, like we've got Waterford wine glasses and stuff. If people are interested, I just don't want to drag this out forever because I'd like to sort of be here for another month and have that be it, So we'll see. The doilies were very popular at the garage sale. That's funny. Shipping isn't bad though. I mean, this has got some weight to it, but it's not bad. This isn't bad shipping. Not domestically. It's got weight to it, but the shipping wouldn't be that bad. No, for Waterford, it would be the shipping, correct. The Waterford, because I probably would want to give the box to FedEx and have FedEx pack it if it's Waterford. You know what I mean? Yes, this is our Ukraine chat, but we're done talking about Ukraine. End of the show, we talk about everything else, Ty. Anyway. We get into everything. Now we're on our talking about everything else chat. By the end of the show, we just get into food or in this case, estate sales or you name it. So that's the part of the show we're at. So anyway, all right, guys, I'm going to go, but I've got to figure this one out clearly soon, In person, if you don't take advice, in-person auction? Yeah, but where? I mean, I called the auction houses in Chicago and they were all kind of like, or the one big one I talked to kind of felt like nothing was worth it. you know? Thanks, Jen. Yeah, Burp Russell. But that's the problem. I'm with you for in-person auctions, but I could call another auction house. The problem is I'm just not convinced how much stuff we've got for the auction. It's a little confusing right now, you know? So anyway, we'll see. If they're signed by the artist, much higher price. I didn't know that. Oh, that's interesting. I did not know that. Huh. If they're signed by the artist, so it would have the person's name in addition to saying Waterford or whatever on the bottom. That's interesting. One of your fine antique stores. I did get a really nice, some nice maps and things at the antique stores down there, you know, but yeah. 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 Let me look. I still think you're right. I still think it'd be interesting to find, you know, an auction house that might be able to auction it off, except they're still getting 30%, but still, you know, TikTok shop. I would consider it depending what TikTok takes, you know? Yeah. Let me know. I mean, I'll let you guys know. I'm like I said, I'm very divided on the big stuff. The smaller stuff, I still might try Discord and see what happens. You know, I mean, last little question: would it be crazy for me to put the Waterford wine glasses on the Discord auction, or is it just, you know, too much? You know, I mean, at least according to eBay, those are $200 to $400 glasses total. You know, the set of them. Is that just too much for Discord? Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Claire. You know, thank you, Jen. You know. That's what I'm wondering about it being an eBay thing, except as everyone's warning me about eBay being difficult now. Thank you, Randy. You know? Yeah. All right. Thank you, GF. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Would the shipping cost be horrible for the glasses? I'd have to weigh it and see. My only concern with the glasses is we would have to, oops, I'll make sure I'm not opening the garage door by accident as we're talking. That would be very bad. Oh no, I took my thing out. Good. The only thing is, like with Waterford glasses, I would feel like I would want to drop them off at UPS and have UPS pack them for me. I would not be comfortable wrapping Waterford wine glasses and putting them in a box and then mailing them. I'd be like, you know, see, Ash, that would worry me a little bit. You know, I don't think it would be prohibitive, but I think the glasses shipping might be $20. It might be $60. It might be $60 shipping, just because if they're packing it and then the shipping price itself for US shipping, it might be $60. You know, 60 by 124. What does that mean, PG? I don't know what that means though. Oh, I'm at my mom's place in Chicago. Yeah. Yep. My nephew's walking in as we talk. Thank you, Randy Fred. Would not sell Waterford through shipping. Oh, you mean so just do the Waterford by Facebook Marketplace, maybe. That's possible. Yeah. Hello. Oh, it's you. God, I don't recognize you anymore. My nephew has also lost weight, so I don't recognize him when he comes over now either. We're still live. Want to say hi?
Hi.
And my sister. I didn't recognize you.
Yeah.
All right. There's Anthony. Hi, Anthony. Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. He's leaving now. All right. Let me sign. I was showing them the tablecloth again. All right, guys. Let me sign off. My sister's here with my nephew. We'll talk to you later, okay? All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for the advice, everybody.